All right, what if I told you that you could get 30 years of raw, in-the-trenches business wisdom from a guy who's built 19 companies, all without spending a single cent? Well, that's exactly what we're going to do. We're breaking down Simon Squibb's entire playbook into one powerful 5-minute guide. So let's dive right in.
So, here's the game plan. We're going to walk through the 5 essential stages of pretty much any great business. We'll start with finding your real purpose, then launching with zero cash, mastering that crucial mental game, building out your team, and finally, planning that big game-changing exit.
Okay, section 1, the real starting point. So where do you even begin, right? You know, the classic advice is always, go find a gap in the market. But what if that's actually terrible advice? What if that's the very thing setting you up to fail from the get-go?
This is where Simon Squibb completely flips the script. He says you don't need some brilliant original idea. I mean, look at his agency, Fluid. It became a huge success in a market that already had 500 other competitors. How? Simple. He was completely obsessed with marketing. The reality is, what you love to do, that's your real competitive advantage.
You see, when you build a business around something you truly love, it stops being work. It just becomes your life. And that obsession, that's your superpower. It's what lets you out-research, out-innovate, and honestly, just outlast everybody else who's only in it for a paycheck.
So here's how you find that purpose. You know, school always asks us, what do you want to do? That's the wrong question. The real question is, what problem are you going to solve? So grab a piece of paper. List everything you love doing and everything you absolutely hate doing. That list, that's the engine for your business. You get obsessed with what you love, and you find other people to do the stuff you hate.
All right, next up, launching with zero capital. So you figured out your purpose. Awesome. But you've got no money. And that old school, dusty business plan everyone tells you to write, it might actually be the one thing that's holding you back.
I mean, really, is that giant 20-page document a helpful roadmap, or is it just a cage? When you're in the total chaos of an early startup, how useful is a rigid plan really?
You know, it's like that famous Mike Tyson line. Everyone has a plan until they get punched in the face. And that's exactly what a business plan is like. It's way too rigid. A mind map, on the other hand, is liquid. It's flexible. It lets you explore and pivot and connect ideas on the fly as your business actually starts to exist in the real world. And here's how simple it is to get started. You just put your hobby, the thing you love, right in the center. So for Simon's Free Humanity project, the branches coming off of that were things like a podcast to build his network, an app to help people at scale, and even ideas for revenue, like merchandise. See? It's a living, breathing blueprint of what's possible, not just a strict set of rules.
And this just proves you don't need a ton of money to start. You just need creativity. I mean, think about the Airbnb guys. They didn't go out and raise millions right away. To get their first bit of cash, they literally designed and sold cereal boxes called Obama O's. That creativity didn't just get them their first funding. More importantly, it got them talking directly to their first customers.
All right, section 3. So you're launched, you're out there. Now comes the real battle, the mental game. This part is all about how you think, not just what you do.
And maybe the biggest secret weapon for winning in business is this: delayed gratification. Just think about the giants, like Facebook or Google. They spent years building up these massive communities and giving away incredible value for free. They were all about growth before profit. They didn't rush to cash in. They built an absolutely unshakable foundation first.
You know that old saying, the harder you work, the luckier you get? Well, Simon says that's kind of wrong. Luck isn't just something that happens to you. You can actually hack it. Here's how. First, be so persistent you just outlast everyone. Second, know your destination. Define what success actually means for you, not for anyone else. And third, and this is crucial, take risks. You have to lean into that fear. The more risks you take, the more chances you have to get lucky.
And this next idea, this is a tough one for a lot of people to swallow. The real secret to winning is learning how to lose. Think about it. A students are often terrified of failing, but D students, they've already failed. They've learned from it, they've bounced back, they aren't afraid to go all in, and that right there is often why they end up winning.
All right, moving on to building your empire. You've survived the crazy early days, you've got your mindset right. So how do you go from just you to a whole team, an organization, maybe even an empire? Well, it really boils down to people, culture, and marketing. This is so important. You can have the most brilliant strategy on paper, but if your company culture is bad, you're going to fail. A strong culture, where everyone shares the same purpose and values, that is the ultimate engine for growth. It beats strategy every single time.
So how do you actually build a culture like that? Well, here's the formula. First, only hire people who genuinely believe in your mission. When you do that, you stop managing people and you start managing the purpose. Second, give your team equity. Give them ownership. When they have skin in the game, everyone's incentives are perfectly aligned. And third, and this is huge, protect your team, even from bad clients. Firing a toxic client sends the loudest possible message. Our people come first.
Okay, and what about marketing? Forget about running boring ads. You need to do something that tells a story. Simon once bought a staircase for £26,000 just because it was for sale. The story of why he did that generated millions in free PR all over the world. That's the power of creating a story so good that other people can't help but tell it for you. So the question is, what's your staircase? What's that one wild creative idea that will get everyone talking about you?
And that brings us to the final move, your ultimate exit strategy. Okay, you spent years building this incredible thing. Now, how do you actually realize all that value you've created? What's the end game?
Well, these are pretty much the main ways you can cash in on all that hard work. You could take the company public with an IPO. You could get acquired by a bigger company. You could sell to a private equity firm. Or, and this one is a really cool move, you can sell the company to the very people who helped you build it, your own management team.
But here's the final, and maybe the most important piece of the puzzle. It's a paradox. The secret is, don't build a business with the goal of selling it. Instead, build a business you love so much that the thought of selling it is painful. Because that business, the one built on real passion and purpose, that's what makes it truly valuable. That's the business that everyone wants to buy.
So, there you have it. The playbook is officially in your hands. And you know what? It all circles right back to the beginning, to that one simple, incredibly powerful question. So forget about finding a market gap, forget about writing a 50-page business plan. Just ask yourself this one thing. What problem are you going to solve?